Morning to everyone. Welcome to our Namaste Village morning session where we dive into the Namaste experience, sometimes in unconventional, perhaps even uncomfortable ways. And today may very well be one of those days. Because what we're going to share here may seem to be uncomfortable and something that we don't want to fully embrace, but I promise you it's the truth. I promise you that each one of us has come to a particular point in this awakening where we're called to look at two simple lines that are very simple but very profound, especially as we fully embrace them and don't resist. You see, it's always in the resistance, trying to push it away, thinking that there's something left for us to do, something else for us to accomplish, instead of just surrendering and diving into that river, letting the current take us, drawing us to that infinite ocean of grace. So let me tell you what the core of our teaching today is going to be. Three or two simple lines. There's nothing left, and it is done. We're reminded of even Jesus on the cross when he says, "It is done. It has been accomplished." Maybe those are better words for this. It has been accomplished. And what is it? What is it we're talking about? Everything. Everything has been accomplished. There's nothing left for us to try and do, but the perceptual mind is constantly seeking something else. If I could do this, if I could do that, if I could have this or have something else, if I could accomplish my goals, my dreams, then I'll be enough. When the truth is you're enough right now. There's nothing left for us to do except to dissolve into that ocean of grace that we talk about so often, allowing it to take us. That's what a current does. It just takes hold of us and pulls us effortlessly. All of the effort that we've employed to try to get somewhere that we believe we need to be or that we are not now. And I've used this analogy before, but it reminds me of when I had a floating house on the Columbia River right outside Portland. So here I am right on this mighty river, and one of my favorite things to do was to get on my paddleboard. And I would kneel on the paddleboard or stand, and I would row against the current. And this is a very powerful river, so it was not easy. I would row hard and I would give all my strength until I was finally exhausted. And then I would just sit down and let the current right the paddleboard. It would turn it in the right direction and effortlessly pull it back to my home. There was no effort when I was moving with the current, but as long as I was trying to fight the current, it was very difficult. And that's exactly what we've been trying to do, fight the current. That's what the perceptual mind or the ego is, the attempt to do something against the current of grace. But it is done. It has been accomplished. And once again, that may seem like something like, really? Are you sure? Isn't there something else to do? Isn't there something else for us to learn, to accomplish? And the answer is no. And this is what I have been really experiencing lately. And I wanted to talk about this maybe more personally than I ever have before. As you know, this week I have a book that is being released called The Annihilated Self. And I have said in many groups and emails that I believe that this is the most important book that I've written. And a lot of people have asked, well, why? I've written a lot of books. You know, there have been some that I think have been really valuable. The Moses Code, The Art of Spiritual Peacemaking. But There's something about the annihilated self that leads me to believe that this is a final step, a final entry into an experience unlike anything we have known before. Now, the reason I believe that is very simple, because this book, everything that I've written here, has affected my own life so much more deeply than anything else. I have felt the annihilation. I have experienced the dissolve of everything. Everything that I clung to, that I didn't even realize I was clinging to, has been falling away. For example, as most of you know, I am an Anglican priest. And in the last number of months, as I've dived even deeper into this work, I've realized that the identity that I've claimed around being a priest is dissolving. It's being annihilated. It's just going away. There's no need or even desire for me to act as a priest in that sense, to wear a collar, to celebrate, to go to church. It's all falling away. And at first, that was really scary. I'll tell you something that's even, oh, someone got unmuted. Zoom user. Okay. Make sure you stay muted. Something that's been even more interesting is I've been feeling even my vocation as a Franciscan brother having dissolved. I've actually taken a leave of absence from my community so that I can just be present to that dissolve, to that annihilation. Because the question of identity is the key question. What is it that I am identifying myself as outside the reality that is known by God? That I am the holy, perfect child of God. And do I need to add anything to that? Do I need to wear a certain costume, a habit to be something other than I am as I was created? So I wore this shirt today on purpose. God sent me. A friend of mine designed these shirts years ago. And I wish we could all have a shirt like this, because God has sent each and every single one of us to be annihilated so that it will only be the divine that is shining through, not a role. We all have the roles that we've been playing in life. It could be something as beautiful as mother, as brother or sister, as father. It could be something in our career, something in our lives that we've accepted and done great work in. But in the end, all of these things have to dissolve because it has been accomplished. It is done. And at first, that recognition of it being over. Well, what is over? You mean the world, my life? Yes, but not in the dramatic way that the ego wants to believe. Not in a way of losing, not in a destructive manner, but in a way of finally opening to reality itself, to love itself. Remember, only love, only God, only now. And maybe you all have been feeling this great dissolve as well. Maybe you've even been feeling annihilated. Like all the roles, all the ideas, all the concepts that you've held are just fading away. Well, my advice is to say thank you, because it's only in this that we can come to the true role that each one of us share, to extend the light and the love of divinity itself. There's nothing left for us to do. There's nothing more for us to accomplish. Well, you could say, well, then why are you putting out this book at all? Well, I don't know. It's just what I'm called to do. In fact, I'm here at my cabin outside Ahihic, town called Mazat Mitla, so that I can record the audio book in the next couple of days so people can actually listen to me read it, which you're going to hear in just a moment a bit of. Well, why am I doing anything at all? We do whatever it is we feel Spirit calling us into without attachment, without the need to identify, but simply to extend, simply to give. So this is why I think that this particular book is the most important that I've put out, because it reflects so deeply my own process, my own annihilation. And maybe you feel that as well. Maybe you've been feeling that in your life as things have been falling away, or roles that you've been playing for so long have been just dissolving. I hope so, because that means you're on the right track. Even if it's scary, it is scary to feel these things that we've depended upon, these roles and all of the ways that we've identified ourselves just beginning to dissolve. But what you're doing is you're dissolving into light. That's what Jesus meant when he said it is accomplished. We're dissolving into light. So as you know, or most of you know, I sent out an email yesterday saying that I'm so committed to this that I'm even going to be sharing an online course that Vicky and I have worked on before called the Enlightenment Partner Program. And we're going to be sharing this online course with everyone who buys the book in the first couple of days and writes a review, because this is the way that something like this gets shared and gets attention. So I'm going to invite all of you to find a way to get the book on Thursday or Friday when it comes out. And then if you want, write a review. Let people know how you feel, because that really impacts the algorithms of Amazon so that more and more people find out about it. And so what I would like to do now is to read just a little portion of this book for you so that you can maybe get a sense of this dissolve and this annihilation that's taking place in me, but is also taking place in each one of us. So just to remind you, this is a conversation between soul and love, which we could say is you in your present identity, and love, which is calling each one of us to dissolve. So if you want, take a deep breath. If you would like, you can close your eyes and listen to this beautiful message. This begins with the soul. You've been so honest and clear, love. And so I want to expose my greatest fear. You talk about the annihilation of the individual self and the inflow of love when the soul finally surrenders to this ocean of grace. I have every reason to believe you, love, but here's my concern. What will happen to my family when this happens? How will I support my children or anyone else who depends upon me? I'm afraid that this great dissolve will leave me impotent to the responsibilities that will require my attention. Will I be like a bowl of jelly when I'm finally filled with the light that you describe, unable to handle the day-to-day activities of my life? Ah, dear soul, love says, how tender this fear is, how noble it seems, and how bound to the image of a self that still imagines itself as the center of its own orbit. This fear is not a sin, but it is misplaced. You believe the loss of you makes you useless, but I tell you that the opposite is true. What you call you is the very weight that dulls your capacity to respond with grace. Once it is gone, only grace will remain. You will not be jello, you will be wine. Poured out, yes, but without vessel. You will be bread, broken, but nourishing. You will rise in the morning and feed the children, and it will be not you who feeds them, but me. moving unimpeded through what was once tangled in your efforts. But how, love? How can I function without the personhood I've built? The one who learned to manage, how to sacrifice, how to keep it all going. You confuse structure with control, my darling. The person you built learned how to endure life. Did you hear this? How to endure, but not how to live it. It learned how to strain, but not how to sing. What I'm asking is not that you abandon your children, your duties, or the world. I'm asking you to abandon the doer, the manager, the one who still believes that it must preserve a self in order to give. Have you ever seen a mother stroke her child's face, not from duty, but from pure being? That is what this surrender looks like. Not less activity, but less possessed by activity. You will not lose your hands, you will lose the grasp that stiffened them. But what of planning? Soul asks. What of money or obligation or people who rely upon my consistency? Are you saying that these will just take care of themselves? No, dear soul. I am saying that you will no longer be the one who, through effort alone, takes care of anything. I am the divine rhythm that arranges all things. When the self is annihilated into me, it walks through time and space, but is not owned by them. You will step into each task, each moment, each demand with the same grace that allows you to step into the silence where you will find me. Will money still come and go? Yes. Will plans still be made? Of course. But you will no longer cling to them. You will no longer fear them. You will act, but not react. You will tend, but not pretend to control. This conversation between love and the soul, I think, is so universal. It's what we're all feeling. Each one of you, you're feeling love calling you. I was able to put it to words, but we all put it to feeling. I'm sure each one of us feels the same dissolve, even the same annihilation that I've been feeling in my own life. Beautiful. Go there. Don't be afraid. There's nothing that's going to be lost. The truth within you can never be lost. All we need to do is to stay present and keep giving it away. Keep sharing this love with everyone that we see or even think of. Yes, roles will come and go, plans will be made, different things are going to happen, but still there will be the you with a capital Y at the center of it all, guided purely and perfectly by love and by grace and by the joy at the center of your being. So, Queen Victoria, I'll turn it over to you, and I would love to hear what you have to share about that.
Well, thank you, Brother James, Father James, Jimmy, my brother, Jimmy to the world. Thank you. Thank you for your example. Thank you for your gift of simplicity through your words that are truly opening everyone's heart. This has always been your gift. And thank you for putting it in this kind of roundup book to propel us to finally let it all go. That's the invitation. Instead of referencing a person, a job, my income, my whatever it is, we just reference the current of love. It's that simple. Let it all, and what do we give up? Nothing. We give up delusions, illusions, and things we made up to replace the fullness of love that we already are. But no one can teach that to anyone all we can do is be that and hold out our hands and join one another in resting in that current, because that's the current that sets us all free from referencing anything outside of ourselves, our roles, our families, everything. For me, it was more my son and family. I had to let go of all of that, not look for any support or reference or any of that. Just be willing to see things go up and down and stay centered in listening. This is what I found. God sent me. That's true. I love the shirt. God sent me. And what did God send me here for? To be truly helpful and to sing and joy and be happy. Why? Because we have no more responsibility. It's the most fun way to live because there's no bad outcome of my own making that I'm trying to avoid or get to. All I'm doing is saying, I'm yours and I'm so grateful you're in charge. Spirit, love, whatever word opens your heart. That's a true experience. That's why the only option is happiness, because the current is without opposite, because the current is the allness of what we already are, what we already are ready to live in. And this description of dissolving our ties, our referencing outside of ourselves, is just the escape plan. It's the way, whatever tradition you've been, be mindful. Don't let those thoughts run you. Don't let someone outside dictate what you should do or shouldn't do. Fall into love and relax and sing your way through time, being truly helpful to one another by recognizing we're all free already. So, and then I want to say one more thing, Jimmy, thank you for giving away the EPP program. I was beside myself. This is a wondrous program. I really want to say to all of you, take advantage of it. The James always writes from his Christ mind. And this program is a program of dissolving from referencing outside of yourself to collapsing to the love inside of you. And it's the most beautiful program I've ever seen in print. So thank you for giving it away. That's how you can tell when someone's on fire. They just throw out their arms, they give whatever they've got, houses, homes, money, programs. So thank you for giving away the EPP and enjoy it, everybody. You only need one reference, the love of God. Reference that in everything. You're not beholden to anyone or anything, just that. I love you all, and I thank
Amen.
you, Brother James.
Oh, thank you, Vicky. And yes, it feels so good to give that away. As you said, it has dramatically impacted the lives of so many people. And it was a program that you and I did together in the last version of it. And these 90 lessons, it's a 90-day program of awakening and instead of holding it to a small group, to open it up to everyone, I think is such a beautiful way. So thank you for that. So, Penny, honey, we're going to turn it over to you to take us into the Calico Corner.
Good morning. Deep breath. What is it? Is it Tuesday? Martes? Is that correct? Martes in Spanish? I feel like I've been through a month of Sundays. All the connecting and the being in awareness with all of you. I'm looking forward to that book, James. I have a feeling we're all going to get blessed in that annihilation. But boy, that is a tough word. I like starting with, it is done. I like starting there. I like considering that there truly is nothing that you have to learn. And I really like that concept when I feel obligated to teach. Because, see, you have nothing to learn. It is done. It is whole in you, fully present. That reference to the current and being in the flow, I'm sure someone else has thought of this, but for me, sitting here, what dropped in was this. Current also means the present. So when you are in the flow, the only place you can be is in the present. When you are allowing that current to carry you. I liked the reminder that I'm not Jello, I'm wine. Thank you for that. I like knowing that whatever story or image that I have created, that it could only have come from love. And so while I'm still clinging to this expression, I can know that it still was from the divine thought of love. And as I release that, I see that expression, that identity, transforming into the world to become something greater, to serve deeper. And it has nothing to do with me. I have no work to do in that. To be current, to be in the current, to experience that transformation in the flow. All of a sudden, annihilation becomes easier for me to put my arms around. So, James, I thank you for opening that thought for me. You may have nothing to teach, and I may have nothing to learn, but boy, does it feel good. Amen. I like being in this human expression where I get to stand and look and see the wholeness of my perfection in the divine nature of who I am, and then know that at any moment I can let go of whatever that image is that separates me from that divine knowing. I like being human when I get to witness that. I love it when I see it in you. I might have an opinion or two, but don't pay any attention to that. Embrace that concept of annihilation. Feel the gentleness of that. Feel the grace in that. It is done. See, it is done. I have something I want to share with you. You know, we were talking about that current that would lead out to the ocean, out to the wide open spaces of the water yesterday. And how we dip our toe in the shallow end and we slide into the deep end. This is what happened when I opened my favorite book sitting up here. Sail on, O soul divine, into the infinite great and fine, into a world all bright and new, walk with a million souls, right and true, into the radiance, into the light, into the realm that knows no night, always ascending on and on, sail on, O soul, sail on. Namaste.
Thank you, Penny, honey. Thank you, Vicky. It feels so good to let go of all of those roles that we play. That's what's over. The only role that we have to play now is that we are perfect as we were created, and together within that holy perfection, we sail on. We move together. There is no one in front, no one behind. There is no teacher. There is only love itself teaching. And that's all we need to know. Every other role, every other thing that we've held on to and clung to, and I need this or I need that, that's all gone. It's dissolved. It's been annihilated. Only love remains. Only love. And to that, we say, Amen, 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 y punto. We love you so much. Have an amazing day. And now I'm going to start recording the audiobook. See you tomorrow.